Great good morning, everyone. It is a beautiful Friday, November 14, year of our Lord 2025. My Cordaro Jewelers watch tells me it is 9:08 and change. This is the Bob Cordaro Show. I am he. Broadcasting today from the United States of America. I can prove it because the government's actually operating. It's also the place where the heroes and veterans we've lost this year, who have made us and kept us free, are honored each day with the help of our friend John Basiliga, and today featuring one of his great companies, Basiliga Hospitality. That includes Matthew Jones, Wilkes-Barre, William Jansen, Scranton, Nazareno Galassi, Scranton, Frank Zimmerowitz, Carbondale, James J. Spare, Hazel Township, Richard Schneider, Freeland, Thomas Evans, Bloomsburg. The United States of America, the country where, for the first time in human history, freedom was determined to be an unalienable right, granted to each individual by God. It was not something that could be parceled out to groups. It couldn't be controlled by government or government officials, because our great American Constitution ensures and codifies freedom of speech, freedom of religion, freedom of association, economic freedom, and freedom of the press. Whether they use it to lie or not, they're free to do so. Now, armed with these freedoms, and only because they had them, a ragtag bunch of immigrants, rejects, and their progeny created the richest, most powerful, most culturally diverse and accepting nation ever to grace our planet Earth. America, the only place specifically invented and designed so that every American can live their life in the manner they choose, unlimited by their background, upbringing, race, color, or creed, unhindered by the government or those who would use government to control others for their own comfort, benefit, or power. This Bob Cordaro Show, well, it'll always be convincingly conservative, lovingly logical, proudly and passionately patriotic, and reliably right. And yes, the double entendre is intended there. And so, with that essential preamble dispensed with, we can gavel to order this meeting of the Club for Common Sense, promising all of you that we will provide a sanctuary of sanity in a world where the entire leadership of the Democrat Party and the globalists and the environmentalists and the entire establishment has gone insane. It isn't you, it's them. Please be aware of that. Did I gavel this to order? If I didn't, I'm doing it again. So yesterday, I went down to the garage with my buddies, and it was a smaller group than usual, but a great group. We had fun, a little homemade wine, a little, I'm not a big fan of tripe, but the tripe that our man Bobby made was just fabulous. And then the sofrite from the Philataste Festival. Oh, just fab. And then Bobby Agostini makes chicken that it sings. And had a couple cigars and all of that. Well, then the sad duty, I had to go to the Carlucci Golden DeSantis Funeral Home and my friend Jack Kuciak's wake. He was 49 years old. He a force of nature, just a character. Wife Chrissy, his daughter, remained behind, and a lot of different family members, and stopped by there to just express my condolences. I have his picture with me, and he's going to be buried this morning. Well, then after that, I don't know. I'm not one of those people that ever needs a drink. But I went to a neighborhood bar in South Scranton called The Dugout. There was a bunch of people, cuties, friends, and others that met up there. And I swear I'd been there before, but I don't think I was. I thought I was there dozens of times. But when I went in, it was completely different. First of all, there's no sign. It's just a building. It's got a little bit of lighting on it. The front door is on the side of the building. And you go in there, and it's just a beautiful neighborhood bar. And so that was great. Then they start bringing the food out. I mean, their pizza was like Old Forge quality. The wings, all the food was unbelievable. This dugout, I'm telling you, what a find. I had to go up to Jeff, the owner, and say, Jeff, this place is awesome. And Cutie was telling me, I can't remember what the bill was, but it's like you would expect it to be thousands of dollars with as many people as we had there. A couple $100. I mean, classic neighborhood bar. And I met a very rare sports fan. He and I discovered after talking, first of all, that we're both Polish. But the second part was that he likes the Red Sox and the Raiders. And I said, what an odd combination. I said, that's who I love. Well, loved when in terms of the Raiders. But just a great place. Oh, gosh. And, and Jeff is the owner, and he works there. He was the bartender. I don't know who's making the food, but it was, I mean, they were pushing it out in volume, and it was outstanding. So the shout out to the dugout, South Scranton. Just an amazing neighborhood bar that I guess I was not at before. Oh, anyway, it was just a good night. But I can't. I told Cutie this morning. I said, Cutie, we can't go out during the week. Well, you can. I can't. I mean, all I could think of is after the show going home to sleep. Although, frankly, you guys get me all energized just being with you. And the news and the politics and so forth. So, I mean, yeah, don't suffer for me. And by the way, we played Stick Out Your Can today because they normally pick up my garbage in Scranton on Thursday. But because of Veterans Day, that was moved to Friday. And I want you to think about that when you thank your DPW guys. Think of that. Not only when they get a day off, they've got to do the same amount of work in 4 days. Is there any other job like that? They've got to do their work in 4 days. So they don't get a day off. They get extra work. So shout out to the DPW guys all over this region. Special shout out to Dunmore and Scranton. But I've got my Dunmore DPW shirt on that my friend Homer gave me. And the fluorescent green long sleeve. And I noticed the Scranton guys had theirs on today. The fluorescent green. Because they're out in the dark. And they want to get hit by a car and some idiot's in a big hurry. I can be guilty of that myself. But, yeah. They're out there risking life and limb to clean your life up. And I feel cleansed. Thank you to the DPW all around the region. We're going to take a break. Bob Cordaro, WILK. Great to be with you on a Friday morning. It's slightly groggy because if I don't get 9 hours of sleep or at least 9 hours in bed, I just don't like it. But fortunately, I don't have a real job. We'll take a break and be back. And they let it get to that point, right? Elvis Presley, Murph says on this date, 1960, his hit Now It's Now or Never became the fastest selling single in the United Kingdom now. Over 780,000 copies sold in a week. That means people had to go to stores and buy the record. And November 14th, 1965, the U.S. Army's first major military operation of the Vietnam War begins with the start of the 5-day battle of Ia Drang. And that is Colonel Moore, who we played at the open of our Veterans Day special on Monday. This incredible, inspiring leader, great movie, When We Were Soldiers. By the way, I just happened to come across this. I'm looking through the local papers. First of all, while she's running for Congress now, you won't be able to turn anywhere with the Scranton paper and not see Mayor Many Names. They're just going to, disgraceful. Anyway, I was just down at WBRE. They've got, and it's only for, it's an odd thing. They're only for an app that you could get through your TV. They've got these podcasts, video podcasts. And I was down there with, a couple of weeks ago, with Luzerne County Democrat Chair Thomas Schubala. And they removed him. He's a really nice guy. And you can't figure these things out. And by the way, the Democrats aren't the only one that have infighting. So do the Republicans. And in any event, so he's out as Democrat chair in Luzerne County for. They'll always give you the reason that's not the reason. So I don't know why. Doesn't make any sense. Lee texting goes, stop giving the secret out about the dugout. There's no sign outside for a reason. Oh, but the beautiful woodwork. I mean, I'm sorry, Lee. I cannot help but brag about the dugout. And then nobody's going to find it anyway because they don't have a sign. But it's on South Webster Avenue. Oh, Lordy. So, but I love that bar. I love bars. This is top shelf. It really is in every aspect. The people that are there, the prices, the decor, the whole package. It's just great. Anyway, something's going on at St. John's Russian Orthodox Church. It's their Christmas bazaar. It's this weekend. Joan, Joan.
Yes, good morning.
You're on the air. Don't be talking to somebody else.
Okay, well, we're just meeting here. We didn't know we were on the air yet. They didn't inform me. Good morning, Bob.
How are you?
I'm good, Bob. I'm good. We appreciate you having us on again.
So this whole thing kicks off at 11 o'clock this morning.
It kicks off at 11 o'clock. And, Bob, you're making me hungry talking about all that good food you had last night. And we're going to be having delicious food up here at St. John's. We're at St. John's Cathedral in Mayfield at 701 Hill Street in Mayfield. And today's menu is going to be deep fried pierogi, mac and cheese, cabbage and noodles, clam chowder. Tomorrow, cabbage rolls, city chicken, Italian wedding soup, hamburgers, hot dogs, sausage and peppers, kibasi on a stick, desserts, all homemade food, all homemade desserts.
Oh, my gosh. How fabulous is that? What did you say, city chicken?
City chicken, yes.
What is that?
Pork. It's a mixture of like pork and beef. It's all with breadcrumbs, and then it's cooked and it is placed on a stick.
Oh, fascinating. Wow, I'd never heard of that.
So it's the easiest way to describe it is marinated cube pork on like a skewer.
Uh-huh. Wow.
Yeah.
What a
Yeah.
menu. Oh, my gosh. Today and tomorrow. And that's unusual to have two different menus on the 2 different days of the bazaar.
Well, on Friday, we don't usually eat meat in the
Okay.
Orthodox Church.
Mm-hmm.
So on Friday, it's we don't have like anything with meat. It's
Yeah.
like more of the ethnic food.
But it sounds fabulous.
Oh
Wow.
yes, it's totally delicious. Totally delicious.
So 11
And
o'clock
then
to 6 o'clock today, 11 o'clock to
11.
6 o'clock tomorrow, the St. John's Russian Orthodox Cathedral Christmas
Yes.
Bazaar
Yes.
in Mayfield. How about that?
Yes, and Bob, we have over 20 vendors on site with all kind of beautiful items. We have over 40 raffle baskets, and it's just a time you don't want to miss.
God,
We're coming back after the after COVID. We didn't have this for a few years.
yeah.
People have been after us to resume it, so we decided to bring it back this year. We're getting so many calls, messages, and everything on there. We appreciate everything, the support, the donations. We appreciate everything.
Well, Joan Zaleski, thank you for calling in the St. John's Russian Orthodox Christmas Bazaar today and tomorrow, 11 to 6.
Yes.
Amazing food and much, much more. And it's a fundraiser for the church and their big fundraiser. And God bless them. I just think God bless America when I think of all of you doing this work for the sake of their beautiful
it's
church.
absolutely fabulous.
Mm.
Bob, I have to say one more thing before I sign off.
Sure.
You are so fabulous for us. I truly appreciate all the support that you give us for this event and the car show. So we'll be talking to you about that other event, the car show, when the weather warms up.
All right, well, have
Like I
fun
told you
up there.
yesterday, Bob,
I might sneak up there. I know the Bulldog was going to sneak up there for sure.
Okay. Bob, like I told you, we're going from warm weather with the car show to this fabulous event. So,
great
but
stuff.
Bob, we truly appreciate you and WILK for all your support. Okay, and I hope you have a fabulous day.
This area wouldn't be the same without you, so there'd be no point of having a radio show.
Oh,
so there we go.
There, Bob, we appreciate you. I hope everybody has a great day. Thank you for listening. And if you're in the area, stop up in Mayfield. I tell you, you will not be disappointed.
I agree. Thank you so much. Joan Zaleski, St. John's Russian Orthodox Christmas Bazaar, today and tomorrow, 11 to 6. How fabulous. Somebody with a text about the dugout. Tell Joe Biden he will be sitting in the dugout at the East Scranton Little League. Scranton Joe. Yeah, no, we wouldn't let him in the dugout. I'd have nothing to say about it. I'd let Joe Biden in the dugout. I would. If he goes to the dugout in Southside, I'll have a beer with him. It's that magic of a place. We'll take a break, though. Bob Cordaro, WILK. We're going to be back with our great veterans tribute for the hour and the weather and more. Our Veterans Tribute this hour and every hour, this day and every day. Brought to you by our friend, John Basiliga. And just one of his great companies, because it's the weekend. Basiliga Hospitality. 3 great bar restaurants that I think about constantly. The Old Brook Inn, 307 Springbrook Township. Far Street Tavern. And the great Trips Park section of West Scranton. Queen City Tavern, downtown Oliphant. Totally rebuilt, totally redone, 2-story wonder. Fine dining, yeah, they got that. The Terra 519 downtown Scranton, top shelf, gorgeous restaurant. And the Stegmeyer Mansion, amazing food and drinks in an incredible atmosphere of the Mary Stegmeyer Mansion. And hey, it's the weekend. Sergey's Live. You want a little nightlife? There it is, baby. All ages, too. We don't bother the kids. The kids don't bother us at Sergey's. And by the way, Atera is going to start having, for those of us who are more mature, a bar scene at night after the restaurant shuts down. We're looking forward to Atera after hours. You want to see a movie? Scranton Art House, Lackawanna Avenue. Best place to watch a first-run movie. Matthew Jones. He was from Wilkes-Barre. He passed away October 22nd this year. He was born in Wilkes-Barre and proudly served this country in the United States Army as a medic, a role through which he demonstrated his lifelong dedication to helping others. Following his military service, he worked as an X-ray technician for 17 years. He loved to fish, and he always did a project around the house or lent a helping hand to anyone in need. Talented carpenter, woodworker, who was known for his energy and drive, never one to sit still for long. He was deeply family-oriented. Survived by his devoted wife, Dominique Jolin Jones, his daughter-in-law, his grandson, his great-grandsons, 3 sisters. Tragically, Matthew Jones was preceded in death by his beloved son, Patrick, and his granddaughter, Sarah. Matthew Jones. William Jansen, Scranton. He was 85 when he passed November 5th. Survived by his devoted wife of 60 years, Joanna Miko Jansen, with whom he built a life rooted in faith and family. Born in Scranton, known fondly as Bill or Poppy to his grandchildren. A proud graduate of South Catholic High School, class of 1958. Bill went on to serve this country in the United States Army, carrying that sense of duty into every chapter of his life. For 4 decades, Bill worked with HarperCollins. His work ethic and dedication earned him a great deal of respect there. Man of deep faith, he was a member of the Holy Name Society, the Knights of Columbus. He was a true family man, always putting himself second. He was punctual and was always early for piano recitals, sporting events for children and grandchildren. He was surrounded also by a large friend group and considered them his closest family. In addition to his cherished wife, he's survived by his daughters, his son, his beloved grandchildren, sisters, and other family members. William Bill Jansen. Our great veterans this hour brought to you by John Basiliga and Basiliga Hospitality. Storm Tracker 16 forecast from meteorologist Joe Snedeker. Today, clouds and breaks of sun, 47 degrees. Tonight, partly cloudy, 34. Saturday, or as Cutie would say, Sari, cloudy with rain developing late in the day, 50 degrees. Sunday, windy and cooler, rain showers, flurries likely, 45. Not a great weather report, but okay, that's what it is. And I messed that up. Oh, I keep thinking about my friend Jack Kuchak. Anyway, I messed that up. Bob, tell Joe Biden to go to the dugout, meaning the bar, and he'll end up sitting at the dugout at the East Scranton Little League. That's what you meant. I get it. Hey, let's go right to Donald from Pittston. Donald, how are you, my friend?
Oh, good. I got some news for you. I want to do some talking here because then you can respond. Okay, the stimulus. There's $2,000 checks going out. It's official. Bezette said everyone under $100,000 income will get $2,000, and it's going to cost. The tariffs already raised $220 billion. Trump wants to give it back to the people, and the whole deal is going to cost only $326 billion. It'll help people. You know, the checks are definitely going out. So I got all the numbers here for you, and. I'm going to be honest about it. I know Trump a long time. I used to know people that, know him. I used to drive down to casinos when I was younger, people. My friend owned a little tavern. It was called Jenny's Inn, Pete, in Dunmore. And,
Pete Castelline. I love Jenny's. Oh, that was a great stop. They tore it down. Yeah.
This is a true story. I would never make this up. Pete would do these bus trips down, and Trump would give him a deal. Trump and his pit bosses would go up there twice a year. They would spend $1,500. And leave a $300 tip. Everybody would get everything for free, the food and everything. I'm telling you, this guy got a heart bigger than Mount Everest. I seen it. Melania seen it, and his kids. Hopefully, everybody in America is now going to see what this guy can do because he's really a big-hearted man. He'd give you the shirt off his back. I was in his casinos. Trust me, comps for rooms and everything. He's a good man. If you're loyal to him and you're reputable, he'll do anything for you.
Donald, so he went to Jenny's Inn when he was a casino mogul? Oh, the pit bosses went up. He sent the pit bosses up. Okay.
He had like 3 pit bosses.
Well, Pete Castelline was quite a character. I loved him.
Right. Yeah. So they go up there. Pete was on a bus trip down overnight, $75. You get food, drinks, everything. The whole back then.
Nice.
But $1,500 back then is like $7,500 now. Everybody would get food, drinks, whatever it was.
Yep.
I know because I knew the owner. So wow, and a $300 tip that was huge back then. We're talking like in the '90s, late '90s, before 9/11.
Yeah.
And it was a wonderful thing. And, they continued. They were like, they go back and forth, and then Pete died, and it ended. But Trump always had tentacles in the northeastern Pennsylvania.
Yeah. Oh, the kids, the sons are. Oh yeah, so many friends here. Yeah.
He helped a lot of people. Don't believe it. He fed half of that Atlantic City, all those blacks there. I know. He had a billboard there, affordable buffet right over the Taj, and we have extra buffet coupons, and we'd even give it to the people that were outside. They come in and eat. He's a good man. He's a big heart, and he's getting a bad rap about what happened the last election. So I'm glad he's getting off the ropes. No more rope and dope. Start floating like a butterfly and stinging like a bee. And let's show these guys what you got, Donnie. Come on, you got deep pockets. Let's do it.
We love it. We love it. All right, well, Donald, I qualify for the check, so I'm excited if it happens.
Win the midterms. I don't care how you get there. You better give it to the people than some illegal immigrant.
Amen. And by the way, let's give that the 400. He's talking also about that $400 billion that was the Democrats wanted to go to the insurance companies to try to pretend Obamacare was not a failure. He wants to send it to us. I'm all for that too.
Bob, I got the numbers on that. I'll tell you next week. You'll have a heart attack. Oh, man, I got all the numbers on that, what happened and with the deal and everything. We'll talk about that next week, about the subsidies and stuff.
Donald only gives out his info a little at a time.
No, it's all legitimate. You can read it on the internet and everything's certified.
We'll wait for it. Okay, brother, thank you.
Go on. Look, it's on there now. Newsweek, everything. All right, bye-bye.
All the pleasure. Donald from Pittston. Hey, let's take a break. Bob Cordaro, WILK. We will return. Ray Charles. Murph tells us that on November 14th, 1960, he had his first #1 hit with that great song, Georgia on My Mind. And our friend Joe from Berwick, he sent me this beautiful picture. He mentioned it when he called in the other day of St. Mary's Church with the American flags representing veterans. And just thank you for sending that, Joe. It's absolutely beautiful. Great stuff. Hey, I haven't found an update on John Fetterman's condition. I might have to check with Brian Hughes on that. He got lightheaded and fell, and I mean, he falls from a long way at 6'9", and was banged up pretty good. But we haven't had an update or heard an update. I was following the news all this morning and didn't find it. Didn't find anything about it. So Godspeed to him that Fetterman gets better. Yeah, this morning, it's a sad morning. My friend Jack Kuchak being buried this morning, leaving behind his wife, Chrissy, and his daughter, 49. Just a tragic ATV accident of all things up at the Lake Wallenpaupack. Sad, sad day for so many people whose lives he touched, and there were many. Believe me, there were many. Looking at, are we getting back to normal? That's the question. Those of you who maybe receive SNAP benefits or who have been traveling, let us know if things are getting better the first day after the Republicans, with help from a few intrepid Democrats, reopen the country. We'll be back. Bob Dylan. This date, 1962, Murph tells us he recorded his hit, Don't Think Twice. It's all right. And, of course, Apollo 12 blasting off for the moon with that scary couple of lightning strikes this date in 1969. Oh, man. You talk about brave people. They didn't know. I mean, you talk about courage and bravery. They didn't know if they were going to come back alive. They didn't know if they were going to be able to blast off. Amazing. Somebody asking who sings the garbage can song. Bulldog, look that up, would you? Are you listening to me, my friend? He threw the glass, so look it up and let me know. Somebody asking about it, because I'm actually curious about it now that you asked. Somebody texted in, no mention of contractors Trump cheated building casinos. Well, troll, the story was about, Donald told was something about something completely different. Jesus, you've got TDS. You need help. So somebody tells a good story, a heartwarming story about Trump, and you've got to come up with something. You feel compelled to come up with something that's anti-Trump. You've got a problem. Please seek help. I beg you. And another listener says, delusional to think Trump is giving any kind of money to the people. What happened to those Doge checks? Well, Doge got its wings clipped by the Democrats, who hated cutting spending. You know how much more they could have found? They still did a great job for the country exposing the scam of nonprofits and NGOs administering ridiculous programs to the tune of $1 trillion a year of our money. By the way, money we don't have, we're borrowing it. But people like you that oppose Trump went after him to stop Doge, and you stopped Doge with court case after court case, whining after whining. What happened to the Doge checks? You happened to the Doge checks. My God. You talk about zero self-awareness. By the way, I just noticed on WILK News that this Kyle Rittenhouse event got it's canceled at the Woodlands because apparently they were receiving, according to Teddy Daniels, they were receiving threats. Now, I don't understand this. Luzerne County Republican Committee publicly distanced itself from the gathering. I don't know why. I mean, I really don't get it. All this internecine warfare within these political parties, I don't get it. If somebody wants to have an event with Kyle Rittenhouse, let him have the event. Why do you think you have to distance yourself or oppose it? I don't get it. I really don't. Kyle Rittenhouse is not a hero, but he's a symbol. He's a symbol of the insanity of the left during the disgraceful Summer of Love 2020. What's wrong with this event? I don't get it. Why would you even, by the way, why would you even have to comment on it? Luzerne County Republican Party. I don't understand. I don't know. I'm not understanding it. Somebody texted in, Trump does a great job of making people anti-Trump. He does. There's no doubt about it. He actually relishes it. But listen, if I hated somebody and they had these policies and these results, both first term and now, I could care less if I don't like him. I'd be voting for him and supporting him, period. I don't understand you. I really don't. Is it about the country or is it about you and your little personal feelings? That's the problem with the TDS people. I don't understand you. You've got a problem that you should deal with. You hate Trump so much that you don't care if he's successful. In fact, you don't want him to be successful. I don't get it. I hated Biden because of who he was, but if he actually was a normal human being and had good policies, I'd say, well, okay, I don't like him, but, and you guys can't do that. I don't get it. All right, my Cordaro Jewelers watch tells me it's way past time for the news. It's 10:02 and change. So let's do that. They've got Raymond Weil, Breitling, Oris, Longines, Michelle, Shinola, Luminox, Swiss Army, Seiko, Tory Burch, Victorinox, Bulova, G-Shock, and guess what? It's also the best jewelry store in town. We're going to try to rope Alex Picardo into talking to us today. But let's take a break. Bob Cordaro, WILK. We'll be back after the news with Brian Hughes. Great good morning, everyone. My Picardo Jewelers watch tells me it's 11:08 a.m. and change here in the great Northeast this beautiful Friday, November 14, 2025. This is the Bob Cordaro Show. I am he, and it's a big day to celebrate America, to fight for it, to defend our values. And with the help of our man, John Basiliga, and the great Basiliga Hospitality Group, to honor the brave who have made us and kept us free. People like the veterans we've lost this year, but celebrate today thanks to John. Like Matthew Jones, Wilkes-Barre, William Jansen, Scranton, Nazareno Galassi, Scranton, Frank Zimmerowitz, Carbondale, Jay Spare, Hazel Township, Richard Schneider, Freeland, Thomas Evans, Bloomsburg. So with history, our great founding fathers, and the incomparable Constitution of the United States of America as our guides, let us continue today's battle. Gaveling back to order this meeting of the Club for Common Sense, promising you, when the Democrat Party has gone insane, when the establishment and the globalists are against your interests, we will provide a sanctuary of sanity for all of you. And we'll do it for the balance of the morning because we're committed to common sense. So thanks for joining us. And guess what? I love when he comes on because I love their store, and I've been bragging about it. We got Alex Picardo from Picardo Jewelers down on Spruce Street and Jefferson Avenue, downtown Scranton, catty corner from the Radisson. Alex, you're hard at work. Tell us what you're working on and what's happening.
Well, we're getting ready for the holidays to boot up. Black Friday's coming sooner than we think.
Yeah.
We'll do a 15% off store-wide. That's on everything.
Wow.
We're also doing our annual holiday party. It's on December 11th. It's all day. It's fully catered, and everyone is invited. This is not an invite-only show. This is for everyone just to say thank you for everything, or for new people just to come in and check out our new building. We want you there. Come in, bring whoever you like. It's a great, fun night out.
Oh, we have to be talking about that because I love your little bar there. The couches, it's
that bar
gorgeous.
will be very active that night, and everything's on the house.
December 11th. Wow.
December 11th. It's all day. Great sales. We do it once a year to say thank you, but honest to God, it's a break for everybody. You're working hard. Everyone's different out there. You come in, you have a drink, something to eat. Everything's provided, and you have a good time. Maybe even shop a little bit for the holidays.
Yeah, exactly. And by the way, and you said this, it's not too early if you're looking for something special, and it's probably pretty smart to come to Picardo's early, whether it's jewelry or a watch.
Yeah, I'm a believer of definitely going somewhere early and looking for a watch, a piece of jewelry. Our new baby line. I'm the only store around. I carry a full line for babies, from 14 karat to silver, from necklaces to charm bracelets, and now earrings, and they're all screwbacks. It took me a long time to find this, now that I have little kids myself.
Yeah.
And it's a beautiful line, and the prices are right. I brought in 3 new lines this year to the store, and they're all fabulous.
Alex's kids are the same age as my son Michael's kids, so I get to see Alex at different events.
Yes, you do.
That's great stuff. I'll tell you, the children's line, the 15% off on Black Friday, does that extend the whole weekend? Does that go to Saturday as well?
I will extend it out, and then I'm also going to be open our new holiday hours. I will be here 7 days a week now. My wife is thrilled. And Sundays after that, I'll be here from 12 to 5.
You're not afraid to work, I'll tell you.
No.
When you tell people, I'm always here, you mean it.
I mean it. I'm literally always here.
Well, Dad and the uncles are there, too, so everything's great.
Yep. It's a great family vibe when you walk in. Sometimes we're fighting. Sometimes we're not. It depends on the day. We're normal people. We want you guys to come in and check it out. I keep saying that, but really, I have something for everybody here. And back to the holiday shopping. Come in. Put things away. We don't charge you interest. We make it work. No matter what budget you have, I'll make sure to help you out, and you'll leave here happy. That's just how we believe in doing business, and we believe that no matter what your budget or how much you have, we have something for you. If not, we'll help you with something else.
I love it.
But we'll always put something away for you and make it easy as we can. We're a small family business. We're in Scranton for 1,000,000 years, and that's the best I can give, and that's what I offer.
Love it. Alex Picardo, Picardo Jewelers, downtown Scranton. Stop by. Cutie, if you're listening, that's what you're getting, something from Picardo's this year. All right.
You guys have a great weekend.
Thank you, my man. Alex Picardo. Love it, love it, love it. And Alex gets a kick out of, I think the Bulldog came up with this theme song. Did you come up with the theme song, Bulldog? Does anybody really know what time it is? I love that.
I thought somebody texted that.
Somebody, one of the listeners did. Okay.
Yeah,
it seemed a little bit above your pay grade. Yeah. All right. Oh, Bulldog. And who, while I have you on the microphone, who performs our song, Stick Out Your Can, Here Come the Garbage Man?
The Four Aces.
The Four Aces. All right. Thank you for that. Appreciate it. All right. Let's go to the phones because we got people holding. We got Clive from Mountaintop. Clive, how are you?
Good morning, Bob. I'm on Interstate 80 here traveling west. And, we keep hearing on the news, other sources, how bad the economy is. People are hurting and no one has any money. Well, that's an absolute myth perpetrated by the media and others. I'm looking at the traffic here on Interstate 80. It looks like Times Square at 80 miles an hour. And really, and at least half of the vehicles on the road are heavy trucks. And heavy trucks tell the story about the economy.
Yeah.
Go out this afternoon, 3-4 o'clock on Interstate 81 in your area, and that'll tell the story right there.
They're not driving around empty, that's for sure.
Yeah, that's for sure is right. The American economy is booming. It's not just red hot, it's white hot. And Americans have more money today than they've ever had per capita and in total, inflation notwithstanding. The highways are clogged. The restaurants are packed. My wife and I travel a lot. The entertainment and sports venues are sold out. Just watch an NFL game this weekend.
Yeah.
And the price of tickets.
And Clive, I find that interesting because and during the Biden administration, you were telling me the same thing. And my reaction was, but it's all borrowed money. Now, what we're seeing again, just like in the first Trump term, is that people's wages, including inflation, are outpacing cost of living. And that is going to eventually have an effect, and a positive effect, but the media won't let that happen.
No, they won't. They're on this mantra of, feel sorry for yourselves. You have no money. You're hurting. And one thing, last fiscal year ending June 30th this year.
Yeah.
The Pennsylvania's 14 casinos had a record take of $5.4 billion. The Pennsylvania lottery system had a record take. I forget how many billions. The Pennsylvania liquor stores had a record take. And lastly, the Pennsylvania Department of Revenue had a record take. That's your sales tax and income tax. And so no one's fooling this guy that the economy's bad and the people are hurting.
Well, I'm with you on that. I'm with you, my man. I appreciate it, Clive, always. Thank you.
Sure. Thank you.
Safe driving. Thanks for checking in. Luciano from Luzerne County. Hi, Luciano.
Thank you, Bob, for taking my call. Bless the Lord Jesus Christ. Yes,
Amen.
I see that because you don't know me, nobody else, not too many. Well, some people have heard my voice. That makes me extremely uncomfortable. Let me just tell you this. What grade would you give Donald Trump at this present moment, Bob, from an objective point of view, please?
From between a B+ and an A.
yes, I gave him a B. I should have given him a B plus because he did a tremendous amount of help to the states when it comes to crime and deportation. I give him an A. Inflation, I'll give him some time. Still got 3+ years. I hope the Lord will protect him. And
well,
my
I mean,
last question.
the tariffs didn't cause inflation. They never do, by the way. That was a lie. They're hoping that his policies cause inflation. The media is. Left-wing economists are praying for that. The Democrat
Yes.
Party's praying for it. But it isn't happening.
Yes, but one last question. Through all the pain and suffering I've gone through, you've gone through more. Because the worstest thing to be in the streets, to live on the streets for years and years, is to be in prison. At least I had my freedom. I could go anywhere I want. But let me just say this. That's why I don't mince words, and that's why I thank the good Lord I still have my father and mother. They've never abandoned me. They've never rejected me. So what Donald Trump is doing for the American citizen to eliminate, deport all these migrants that have been getting welfare just because one child was born in this country, 1.5 million migrants they found out that have been getting Section 8 and senior housing. Now it's going to open up to veterans and senior citizens that have been living in streets and cars and vans. And I've met them and I've been with them, and many of them are highly intelligent. They suffer from mental illness and they suffer from fentanyl and cocaine addiction. I've met them. I've seen them.
Yeah.
And thank Donald Trump for all he's done, Bob. And thank you, because you don't mince words. And I like that because you're not lukewarm and old cupcake type of mentality. You say it how it is, brother. Have a good week. Thanks, brother.
Luciano. Love it. Love it. Let's take a break. Bob Cordaro, WILK. Got a bunch of people texting in and letting me know their thoughts on this Kyle Rittenhouse situation and maybe clarifying some of it for me. So we'll talk about that when we come back, but let's hear from our great sponsors. A little history, a little music, and then you. Love that song. Jay and the Americans. They moved up to number 4, Murph tells us, with their hit Come a Little Bit Closer. I don't know why. I just love that song. Bob Cordaro back with you on the eponymous program. So the Rittenhouse event was canceled, and there's sort of internal controversy within the Republican Party. Obviously, there's internal controversy with the Democrat Party. Really nice guy, but sorely confused on the issues. The former chairman, Tom Schubala, of the Democrat Party in Luzerne County. In any event, all right, so here's what some of you are saying. Some Republicans were uncomfortable having an event which featured Kyle Rittenhouse, thinking it sent the wrong message. Now to me, I don't understand that. Kyle Rittenhouse, a young man who went from whatever state he lived in into Wisconsin, I believe it's Wisconsin, and he went there under the auspices of defending his friend's business during these Summer of Love riots. Now, the riots were a lie. They were based on a lie. These people were soft-headed idiots who were rioting in the summer of 2020, protesting for George Floyd, who was a disgraceful criminal. Nothing more. Disgraceful criminal and drug addict who died in the midst of an arrest from his own fentanyl taking fentanyl that he was trying to hide from the police when he was arrested for something else. That's why he died. This idiot, Derek Chauvin, had the misfortune of kneeling on his neck, an approved method of subduing a criminal. But he did it for too long. It didn't look good, all of that. And by the way, he's serving massive time. It should have been any more than manslaughter at worst. Now, the guy killed himself. This is what these riots were about. The whole summer. About fake racism. A lie. About police brutality. A lie. These are the same idiots that run out and protest at the No Kings. Somebody said, oh, how terrible Donald Trump with some meme where he dropped crap on the people protesting with No Kings. Well, they're idiots. They're all idiots. Misinformed. They want to believe lies. They're not smart enough to detect the truth, the No Kings protesters. So I don't care if they're being made fun of. They're idiots. Sorry. So he goes there, and these thugs, left-wing lunatic thugs, start bullying him because he's a little guy. Well, they were dumb enough to bully a guy who knew how to handle a weapon, and he shot the bullies who were trying to kill him. He should have never been charged with anything, but he was. And he won. He was acquitted. Now, nothing wrong with bringing the guy in. He's a symbol. He's not a hero. He's a symbol. In any event, let's see what a number of you said. The whole event has caused a lot of controversy for and against Kyle. They didn't get any sponsors, and that's what he needed to pay Kyle and Teddy Daniels to come. He lowered his price, but still couldn't sell the tickets, and so the thing had to be canceled. I don't know if that's true. Another says, Bob, the Kyle Rittenhouse thing is all about insurance liability. No vendor wants to be the venue because of the possibility of something catastrophic happening before, during, and after the event because of left-wing lunatics. The people going to the event are not going to cause any problem. But the listener continues, and this makes the most sense. It's all about the bottom line. The liability issues exceed the headaches and protests the event might or will bring. Okay. Somebody says, Bob, I've been listening to WILK for at least 6 years now, if not longer, with WLK having 3 conservative hosts on the air within the last 3 years. I can count on half of one hand how many times I've heard from the organization that calls themselves the Republican Party, Luzerne County. I drive by their storefront every day to and from work, and the place is always closed. I agree with you, the Rittenhouse situation. They should do what they do best, and I guess get out of the way. I don't know, the text cuts off. So some people felt like, this is not the right kind of event. Okay. But how does it hurt? That's the part I don't understand. I really don't. And I'm not understanding the problem. And I know there's the NEPA Republicans and the established party structures, at least in Luzerne County, they're not happy either with the personality or the events that they're running. But these events are pro-conservative events. There's nothing wrong with them. There's nothing negative about them. So we have to, as conservative thinkers, be together. We have to. Can't be nitpicking and doing this nonsense. Let the idiot Democrat left-wing lunatics fight with normal Democrats. And let normal Democrats realize they've got to flush that out of their party. How about this? There's an anti-Schumer caucus taking shape in the House of Representatives. Do you idiots realize he's the Senate leader? I'm telling you, these left-wing lunatics are so stupid, you can't make it up. All right, we got a caller on the Rittenhouse event. Hello. Bulldog, my monitor got out, so I don't know who it is. But
Bob,
Ben,
can you hear me?
Yes, I got you. Ben from Duryea. Hey.
Yeah, good morning. I think you got this whole thing wrong, and I really hope I can help you out here because the biggest issue that we're having in Luzerne County, it has nothing to do with Kyle Rittenhouse. I could tell you that from talking to a lot of people in elected positions.
Good.
I am a staunch conservative. I fully support what Kyle Rittenhouse did. He absolutely, and you're spot on with all of the summer love nonsense. And we need to have backbones and we need to stand up for freedom of speech. But that is not the case what's going on here. So the issue is that the Republican Party of Luzerne County, the elected officials, continuously get trashed, drugged through the mud by the founder of NEPA Republicans, TJ Fitzgerald. And I'm just going to tell you how it is. This guy takes money in for his events, just like this event that's coming up, and then he uses that money to go after the elected officials. He's the same guy that flopped on the square down in Luzerne County, which was a complete embarrassment, and everybody made fun of that. So it has nothing to do with the event of Kyle Rittenhouse coming here. It has everything to do with the host of the event. And that's the issue that everybody is seeing around here in Luzerne County. Can we get on the same page, Bob? Sure, I'd love to.
I thought we were at one time. I thought you guys did get on the same page with TJ and his group, and I'm like, okay, that's great. We have to. We can't be fighting.
Bob,
we just lost
the
county council.
Exactly, and that's exactly my issue, Bob, is that he puts his events on. He kind of masquerades as the Republican Party. He gets people to show up thinking it's the actual party. He takes those finances in. I don't know what he does with it because he doesn't disclose it. And then he goes out and puts a slate card that says vote for only 1 out of the 5 candidates. So it's going to continue to be an issue.
By the way, the other thing is this, Ben. What is the Luzerne County Republican Party actually doing? I don't see much activity, frankly.
No, and I'm not here defending them saying that they're rock stars.
Okay.
I'm not saying they're rock stars. The problem is, though, Bob, how can you hold events when every time you turn around, there's another event planned by this guy who continues to masquerade as the party he gets elected officials to go, which they're at fault too. Like Congressman Dan Muser continues to funnel the money to him, and that's causing these issues. But, until that stops, we're not going to get on the same page. Let me say this, Bob. This guy said, vote for this chairperson of the county party. 2 weeks after they get elected, he bashes them on social media, calls them every name under the sun. Then he said, now go for this chairwoman or man. Then 2 weeks after that, he bashes them. It's a consistent circular issue that keeps coming around. So, again, I want to make it clear, Bob, it's not Kyle Rittenhouse, and I can tell you that with a ton of confidence talking to a lot of elected officials in Luzerne County. It has nothing to do with Kyle Rittenhouse. It has to do with the host of this event.
All right, my man. Thank you, Ben. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Bob.
All right.
Appreciate it.
And let's just stick together, guys. We just lost the county council, which shouldn't exist, by the way, but that's another story, to left-wing lunatics and outside left-wing lunatic money. Like, come on. We've got a registration advantage in Luzerne County, and we're losing elections. Stop the fighting. Hey, we're way over. We got to take this break. Bob Cordaro, WILK. We'll come back with our Veterans Tribute, and then we got a bunch of calls with a Pie Man Cometh. All of that after this. Our Veterans Tribute this hour and every hour, this day and every day. Brought to you by John Basiliga and Basiliga Hospitality Group, including the Old Brook Inn, Springbrook Township, the Far Street Tavern, West Scranton, the Queen City Tavern, Oliphant, fine dining at a Terra 519 downtown Scranton, and the Stegmeyer Mansion, downtown Wilkes-Barre. Sergei's, the nightclub, downtown Scranton. And the Scranton Art House, your first-run movie theater. Voter's choice for number one. Francis Frank Zimirovich, 81. He died November 1st. Survived by his wife for 55 years, the former Mary Ann Price. Born in Scranton, member of St. Rose of Lima Church, Carbondale. He was a proud Lakeland High School graduate, a veteran of the United States Air Force, and a member of the American Legion Post in Mayfield. He was employed at La Paris Service Station, Carbondale. Previously worked at Sinram Manufacturing in Oliphant and the Train Company in Dunmore. Also surviving, a daughter, 4 grandsons, 2 great-grandchildren, a brother, a sister, and many other family members. Frank Zimirovich. Nazareno Galassi. He was 92 when we lost him November 4th. He was from Scranton. His wife, the former Marianne Brisky Galassi, passed in 2020. The couple was married 59 years at the time of her death. Born in Old Forge, graduate of Old Forge High School. He studied carpentry at Penn State University. He was employed as a crane operator, a welder, and a union carpenter, and was involved in the construction of a number of area landmarks, including the historic Radisson-Lackawanna Station Hotel, Regional Hospital, his own beautiful home, and all 4 of his children's homes. He was a member of St. Peter and Paul Church in Scranton. Nazareno served as a corporal in the 17th Infantry Regiment during the Korean conflict in Korea. He received the Korean Service Medal, the National Defense Service Medal, the Republic of Korea Presidential Unit Citation. Survived by his son, Enrico, 2 daughters, 9 grandchildren. He was part of the morning crew at Burger King in Old Forge for many years. Nazareno Galassi, our veterans this hour, brought to you by John Basiliga and Basiliga Hospitality. Storm Tracker 16 forecast from meteorologist Joe Snedeker. Today, clouds, breaks of sun, 47. Tonight, partly cloudy, 34. Saturday, cloudy with rain developing late in the day, 50. Sunday, windy and cooler with rain showers and flurries likely, 45 degrees. Well, man, I just love those veterans tributes. And thank you, as always, to our man John Basiliga for making it possible. All right. It's Friday. The Eagles are playing Sunday night. And that means the Pie Man cometh. And here he is. Well, no, wait, we got to play his intro, Bulldog. Well, he won't do it unless we play Fetterman, but he's here. Peter Delaporta, the Pie Man. How are you, brother?
Robert!
What do you see?
Friday.
What do you know, my man?
Happy Friday.
Same to you.
Yeah,
Same to you.
I think Fetterman gets a pass this week.
I know.
We fell down.
I'm telling you, I disagree with probably 99% of his political views, but I like him.
Right.
I do like him.
Yeah, he's our favorite Democrat.
Right now he is, yes.
Obviously, he never played any sports because he doesn't seem too agile on his feet.
No. He's. I said, why couldn't I have been given a few of his inches? You know, he'd be fine. He'd be fine at 6'5", right?
Oh, Bob, you would have ruled the NBA.
All right, Pie Man, let's talk Eagles.
All right, well, welcome to Week 11 of the 2025 NFL season. The Detroit Lions, 6-3, visit our Philadelphia Eagles, who are 7-2 at the Lincoln Financial Field in Philadelphia for a Sunday night game of the week showdown at 8:20. The Eagles are coming off 3 straight wins, and they're riding atop the NFC East, while the Lions are riding atop the NFC North. Last week, Eagles beat Packers in a most hard-fought defensive battle. They won 10-7, and Vic Fangio, your golf partner, had his best, defensive game of the year.
Let me ask you,
7 points.
Chet Parlavecchio and I were talking about this. I am, and I was talking about it with Sid Hallinan as well.
Right.
What in God's name was that 25, 30-yard pass on 4th down and 6? I'm still mystified
A
at it.
bad decision. Bad decision. And that's a great point, which leads me to, the offense, Bob, bad decisions. They're struggling in every category, mostly in poor execution. Their third down percentage, they only had 6 for 16, third down conversions.
Yeah.
0 for 2 in fourth downs. They rank, Bob, 27th in the league in penalties. And there's a huge controversy in the locker room. A.J. Brown he only had 2 catches for 13 yards, and he is ranked at 38th in the NFL in terms of number of passes thrown to a wide receiver. He wants the ball.
And he deserves it. I mean, but that's who that horrible play call was to, and he did his best. He was completely covered. He did his best to try to get an interference call, but to no avail. But yeah,
right.
Well, all right. Well, as we're short on time, tell me, what do you see? This is a good team they're playing, and they're not playing their best, at least on the offensive side of the ball.
No. The matchup to watch is Philly's defensive line versus Detroit's 2 running back attack. The Eagles yet haven't seen an offense like this so far this year. The 2 running backs of Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery are first in the NFL in terms of a 2 running back attack. And of course they got Jared Goff, who's a great quarterback, ranked 9th in the NFL. So, it's going to be that. It's the defensive line versus the Detroit's running attack. That's what they have to do.
All right, let's go. Let's go right to the prediction, my man. What do we got?
Okay. All right. Well, the spread is 3.5, and the over/under is 47.5. I'm saying, Bob, the Eagles score in a high scoring game. Eagles win in a high scoring game, 27-26.
Okay. I'm between you and the Weekend Warriors, Sid Hallinan. You guys, you're not afraid to make a call. I like it.
Yeah, it's going to be a tight game, so buckle up, Bob, and fly, Eagles, fly.
Buckle up, Buttercup. Well, the Pie Man cometh, the Pie Man speaketh, and now the Pie Man goeth. Thank you, my friend. We'll be enjoying that game Sunday night.
Yeah, so we got the Cowboys the following week.
Keeps on coming. The hits keep on coming.
Yeah.
All right, man.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Robert.
Thank you, my friend.
Have a great day.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
We'll always have a good day when the Pie Man's with us. We'll take a break. Bob Cordaro, WILK. We will return. Can you believe this was a #1 hit in the UK this date, 1969, the Archies? Funny. Bob Cordaro back on WILK. You don't need to know about it, but there's constant battle with the Bulldog during the entire show. By the way, somebody said, Bob, your Picardo watch is still on daylight savings time. Did I say the wrong hour? I am accurate. Yeah. Right? We have 3 minutes to 11. My Picardo Jewelers watch is always with the correct time. Let's go to Fred from West Pittston. Fred, how are you?
Good, bud. You know, Trump's like a kind of guy. Remember you used to go to the bar when you were young and you couldn't wait for that guy to be there to sit around and laugh all day and watch football, college games?
Yeah.
That's the kind of guy. You got to take him with a grain of salt to understand him like you and I.
Yeah, I don't understand why they get angry. He says stuff. And I used to get angry because it was, politically harmful.
Yeah,
but now I'm like, hey, what the hell? Yeah. He's having fun.
Yeah, the guy has a sense of humor like everybody else, like you and I. But for Caddyshack, I got a lineup. Trump could be Ronji Dangerfield. Ted Knight could be Joe Biden. You remember the guy that was grinding the shoes when he said the joke? Ted Knight. That could be Kima Jeffries. Nancy Pelosi. Nancy Pelosi could be Ted Knight's wife. And Spalding could be Hunter Biden, Bob. You have a nice weekend.
Thank you, my buddy. Spalding. Yes, Spalding. Amen. Thank you, my friend. All right. We gotta go to the news. It's time. I've got other calls I want to get to, or a particular call. To try to finish, try to end that controversy or conclude it in some fashion. We're going to talk to TJ Fitzgerald himself when we come back after the news, and see where things are at. But I've got to scold these people to start getting along. We can't lose like this. We can't. Because the Democrats are lunatics at this point. And they support lunatics even if they aren't, which is just as bad. That's where we're at. Somebody texts in, you can't afford anything at Picardo's according to your salary. Well, no, I can't afford not to go to Picardo's because Cutie demands it and she deserves it. So, that's what is. All right, we've got to take a break because it's 11 o'clock according to my Picardo Jewelers watch. And that means it's the time for the news with Brian Hughes. We'll be back after that. Great good morning, everyone. My Picardo Jewelers watch tells me it's 11:05 and change here in the great Northeast this beautiful Friday, November 14, 2025. This is the Bob Cordaro Show. I am he, and it's a big day to fight for America, defend our values, and with the help of our man, John Basiliga, and his great company, Basiliga Hospitality, to honor the brave who have made us and kept us free. People like veterans we've lost this year, but celebrate today thanks to John. Like Nazareno Galassi, Scranton, Frank Zimmerovich, Carbondale, Matthew Jones, Wilkes-Barre, William Jansen, Scranton, Richard Schneider, Freeland, James J. Spare, Hazel Township, and Thomas Evans of Bloomsburg. So with history, our great founding fathers, and the incomparable Constitution of the United States of America as our guides, let us continue today's battle. Gaveling back to order this meeting of the Club for Common Sense, promising you that our commitment to common sense will, in fact, provide a sanctuary of sanity for all of you in a world where an entire political party has gone insane, the Democrats, and the global elite and the establishment here in the United States are all trying to crush your dreams. Hey, when I think of them, I go immediately to Mother Teresa because I don't want to forget. And this is Mother Teresa, St. Teresa for November 14. She says, when you are suffering, always remember that the passion of Christ ends always in the joy of the resurrection. So when you feel in your own heart the suffering of Christ, remember the resurrection has to come. Never let anything so fill you with sorrow as to make you forget the joy of the risen Jesus. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Thank you, Mary Regina, and of course, thank you, St. Teresa. So the Bulldog has a button, which he's got a button so he can hear me. So during one of the commercial breaks, I'm yelling to the Bulldog, 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 and he's not reacting. And so I go to him and I say, I go, Bulldog, can't you hear me? He goes, well, there's a button here that has to be pressed. I said, so why isn't it pressed? He had no good answer. Apparently he didn't want to hear from me. And so we've been having our own problems here, you know? But a number of you said, I thought the Bulldog was chomping down on bags of leftover candy, playing that Archie's song and dancing around. Somebody says, just came from St. John's in Mayfield. My car smells like pierogi heaven. Oh, that is great. I mean, that food lineup at St. John's is awesome. By the way, somebody says, Bob, Google it. John Fetterman was an offensive lineman in college, standing 6'9". He got that from Wikipedia. Thank you for that. I thought he was, and the Pie Man was saying he didn't play. He couldn't have been too athletic, or he'd been in the NFL. You know what I'm saying? But point taken. Thank you. Now, I said 11:08 at 10:08. I don't know why. So, and somebody said it's not the watch making the mistake; it's the watcher, meaning me. So I get it. Somebody else on the Republican Party of Luzerne County's headquarters at Kingston Corners isn't there anymore. Unfortunately, the Stein is still on the building because it is electrically attached by the owner of the building. That's why people think the headquarters is still there but never opened. Okay, so the headquarters is not there for Republican Party in Luzerne County. All right, we're going to end this controversy. You guys got to stop fighting. That's what it comes down to. And T.J. Fitzgerald, he's the NEPA Republicans and the person who organized the Rittenhouse event. T.J., welcome back to the program. How are you?
How you doing, my friend?
All right. Well, listen. Let's take the first issue first, which is, is the Rittenhouse event going to get canceled?
It's canceled.
All right. So the venue
You're the first person knowing it.
So the event was having difficulties, and the venue decided, hey, we can't insure for this.
They canceled, and then they came back with a counteroffer that was just, from what I understand, was because the person I'm dealing with had his fans was Teddy Daniels and an attorney, a January 6th attorney. She's very good, and they came back with totally different than what we were supposed to do. Plus, paying 6 police officers. The contract I didn't see the contract, but it just, we can't do it.
Okay.
The loopholes are, and we just can't jump through that by the time this event is. And
by the way, I'm watching on my monitor. They're still, these idiots are still carrying on outside the Chicago ice facility, spurred on by their idiot mayor and their idiot governor of Illinois. And I'm telling you, these people should get their heads busted, not letting law enforcement do its job. Unbelievable. Anyway, back.
It's crazy.
Yeah, back to the other point. All right. So, TJ, I've said to you guys got to stop fighting, number one. Now, is it true that you passed out your own slate card that only had one? Didn't have all the Republican candidates on it?
No, I didn't. I didn't pass out a slate card. What happened was, I happened to our group is, we only go for conservative Republicans. Okay, we endorse, and as far as endorsing, we only, the only people that I was voting for, and what I said is, I always tell people how I'm going to vote. I only voted for one person on council. It was Stephen Urban. However, the party also put out 4 people without Stephen, so I kind of came to his defense. And we do have issues, and we need to get to the table. And we need to resolve it. I put out a video. I'm going to send it to you. I'll send it to you, message it to you.
Through email, yeah.
What happens is this. We need to agree how we conduct ourselves as Republicans and stick to our guns. Like what I said in the beginning, I said, if we play fair, whoever the voters vote for in the primary will fight in the primary, unite in the general. However, some of the people on council decided to put their thumb on the scale, and they said, we want these 5. And they put money in, $50,000 in, and they didn't, it wasn't supposed to be like that. I think what we need to do is educate and inform the public, have a lot of town halls, a lot of debates, and whoever the public decides, then use that $50,000 in the general against the Democrats. But there's a lot of people that want their guy to move in they get elected in the primary, and I have a problem with that. I think that we would inspire more voters, and people wouldn't think it was fixed or it's just the party with the money and their money guys. I think we can resolve this if we act like adults. And on my last video, I said, hey, I'm willing to come to the table. I've always been willing to come to the table. I always invite the party and everybody to my events. Every time. I give them the speaker. Every time. I go to their events. You see me at their events.
Mm-hmm.
I am always wanting to have conservative people work together to beat the crazy ideology of the left. I am a conservative Christian. And I want our country to be safe, number one. And I want us to be a rule of laws in the Constitution. And I want our party to play fair. We're supposed to be the party of integrity. And let's do that. And I think what we can't do is say, I want my guy in, and I will do anything to do to get my guy in. I think what we need to do is have platforms where we can engage the public. They get to meet the candidates, and the candidates that inspire them to vote in the primary will inspire us all, because if we get divided because of all the little games that we play in the primary, including me. On my video, I said I was part of the problem, and I don't want to be.
Well, we've now had 2 elections where Republicans were divided. your group and your initiatives versus the party, and we've lost both of them. And when we're when we were unified, we won in Luzerne County.
When we were unified was underneath it was because we were unified under Donald J. Trump. Okay, and the party didn't like Trump at first, but they got on board because they realized the base came out. Well, the base isn't coming out for any other person at this point. And they really need to realize that the base loves Donald Trump type of people. And he doesn't fit the mold. And locally, there is no Donald Trump type of guy. We need to sit down and say, okay, we're a Big Ten people. We need to get the base. We need to have a grassroots. Now, you go to these events once in a while. I go to all of them. And I keep on telling you, Dan Muser is 100% behind me and the idea, because he comes to all my events. Rob Rezahan comes to some
and
of them.
And I don't see the reason for the division. I just don't see the reason for the division. You're having events; they're positive events, and they help. They help
because
the
of the past.
Yeah.
We need, like you just said, we really need to just say, forget about the past, forgive, let's move together. How do we work together? And the grassroots people aren't at a lot of these events. I mean, it's either we've got the rich and the connected at events.
But listen, now, TJ, we got to go. But listen, I'm just going to continue to urge you is to do everything you can to reunite and have one effort. And yours could be an additional effort, but at least let's row in the same direction. Or we're going to continue to lose.
Rob, let me finish. 1 second. I do that every time. But my group and my people are not going to unite because they said so. We have to have a compromise, and we have to have an agreement on how we move forward. And it can't be the same old way of because I said so. It's my candidate, and I know better than you. All I want is a platform that we all come to the same events and we let the people, because if we engage the people will come out. They came out for Trump.
Yeah.
Just do what Trump does. He had big events. He talked to the people. Everybody was big. Why don't we do that as a party locally? The game plan's there. We know how to win. All
right.
I don't get it.
All right.
I don't get it.
TJ, thank you. Keep plugging for conservatives.
I will.
I love it.
I promise.
All right, man.
Thank you.
We got to take a break. Bob Cordaro, WILK. We may not be able to solve this problem today, but we've got to solve it. Luzerne County is critical in Pennsylvania and critical in the country. And it's gotta work. We'll take this break and be back. It's the Bob Cordaro Show. I wasn't a fan of the song until our prison band did it at Fort Dix, and we had not only a great Latino singer, but a great Latino bongo player, percussionist, who played along with me on the drums. It was great. We had a great version of this song. And it's always nice with the Spanish accent. Let's go to Gary from Mill City. By the way, that Santana, let me finish. The Santana music released in the U.S. this date, 1970. Fire away, Gary. How are you, man?
Yeah, Bob, good. How are you? Talking about the Republican Party, I planned on calling you today anyways. Did you see in the continuing resolution where the Republicans in the Senate added on a amendment where that is why Republicans lose in off elections. The House was out of session for most of the shutdown. They could have been in session passing legislation, but for the majority of it, they were out of session. That is why they lose off year elections.
No, but Gary, on that point, on the first point regarding plugging that in so that it was take it or leave it for the House Republicans, I disagree with what they did. But the second point, the House should have been adjourned. They did their work, and nothing was going to get done during the shutdown legislatively anyway.
Well, it's a bad look when you're not at work, and when the Senate did pass it, in my opinion, the House should have been in session and had that bill to the president within hours of the Senate passing it. With the Republican House saying they didn't know that provision amendment was in it to pay those 8 senators. Who's reading the bills, Bob? Another example of nobody reading what's in it. I called yesterday. Locally here, we're getting the ads hammering Rob Bresnahan lies. The media tells us it was a Republican shutdown. The media tells us that Republicans are killing health care. And I tried yesterday to call the Republican National Committee to ask why there aren't commercials on all the mainstream medias saying that every Republican voted 15 times, everyone but 2, I believe, voted 15 times to keep the government open. The Affordable Care Act was passed on a partisan bill, and all Democrats voted it, and our health insurance is up 300% and more.
Yep.
Why don't the Republicans, Democrats get their message out and they carry that message, everybody's on board, and the Republican Party, if the establishment doesn't back you, they will do everything they can to destroy you in the primary. And if you do win, they already destroyed you for the general election for the Democrats.
Yep. Well,
the
Gary,
Republican
go
National,
ahead.
one real quick, Bob.
Go ahead.
The Republican National Committee yesterday, I called Washington. Every office went to a recording and their mailbox was full. What are they doing with people's donations in that organization that they can't run commercials counter? Why do they wait till a month before the election? When you control the narrative, you control the election. When the Democrats control the narrative for 22 months and you run a commercial the last 15 days, it doesn't do nothing. People's minds are made up. Thank you for your time. Have a great weekend.
With you 100% on that point. Very, very important. They wait and wait and wait and wait. And now part of it is practical. As odd as it sounds, the Republicans don't have the money in terms of dark money. They have more money in the Republican Party and the Republican congressional and senatorial campaign committees than the Democrats do. But they don't have the dark money, which is where most of these negative ads are coming from. They don't have the George Soros money. They don't have the multi-billionaire money paying and paying and paying, because part of it is because they're trying to get rid of government, meaning the best of the Republican Party is trying to reduce government control. And the billionaires, the majority of them, want more government control. And that's sadly, they merge with the left, no matter what their other opinions are. Because the bigger the government is, the more the big corporations and the multi-billionaires make. Period. Just think of the shutdowns. Who made out? Multi-billionaires. Not the regular people. They were harmed grievously. It was the greatest transfer of wealth that we've seen since maybe the 1900s. The COVID scam. Incredible. All right. In any event, President Donald Trump, he has directed the Justice Department to investigate disgraced late financier Jeffrey Epstein's ties to several high-profile Democrats and certain banks. He says now that the Democrats are using the Epstein hoax involving Democrats, not Republicans, to try and deflect from their disastrous shutdown and all their other failures, I'll be asking AG Pam Bondi and the Department of Justice, together with our great patriots at the FBI, to investigate Jeffrey Epstein's involvement and relationship with Bill Clinton, Larry Summers, Reid Hoffman, J.P. Morgan Chase, and many other people and institutions to determine what was going on with them and him. He says this is another Russia scam with all arrows pointing to the Democrats. Records show that these men and many others spent large portions of their life with Epstein and on his island. Stay tuned. He said Epstein was a Democrat, not a Republican. It's not the Republicans' problem. He also accused Democrats of doing everything in their withering power, we might have meant a different word, to push the Epstein hoax again, despite the DOJ releasing 50,000 pages of documents. Okay. Finally, a definitive statement, but remember, President Trump, you started the problem by thinking there was some magical file that didn't exist. And you said, step one, here's the binders. There was no step two because there wasn't the information. Now, the 50,000 documents, I'm happy to hear that, see it in print and hear it, because that means there's nothing left. And the grand jury information was ruled unreleasable by a Democrat judge, and probably appropriately so. Okay? Somebody texts again that our guy Gary wasn't right. The Speaker of the House knew it was in the bill. And he's going to bring up a vote when they come back in session to have it removed. Well, that's from Paul. He was surprised it was in there. And it was too late to do anything about it, because you either reopen the government with that little provision allowing the senators to sue the Justice Department or not. And, yeah. But again, let's not get caught up in tiny controversies. Let's just keep plugging. We got to save the country. All right, we'll be back. Our veterans tribute this hour and every hour, this day and every day. Brought to you by John Basiliga. And it's the weekend. We got to think automatically. Basiliga Hospitality. Includes 3 amazing bar restaurants. The Old Brook Inn, 307 Springbrook Township. Far Street Tavern, the Great Trips Park section of West Scranton on Far Street. The Queen City Tavern, downtown Oliphant. And then fine dining, the best. A modern take, a Terra 519 downtown. Not a more beautiful restaurant anywhere. The Stegmeyer Mansion, class symbolized. The Mary Stegmeyer Mansion. Sergei's, the nightclub. It'll be hopping this weekend. Get in on the fun. And the Scranton Art House. First run movies with your favorite food and booze. Richard Schneider. He was 90. He was from Freeland. We lost him November 2nd. Born in Freeland, a proud member of the United States Air Force. He carried the memories of his service, especially his time in Japan, which he often recalled with pride and joy. After his military service, Richard dedicated his career to helping others, working at the Whitehaven Center before his retirement. Richard's greatest devotion was reserved for his family and the simple pleasures of life. He loved camping. Before trading the cold Northeast winters for the sunshine of Florida, he found great joy in lighting up his block with traditional Christmas decorations, which could be seen for miles. Preceding him in death, his cherished wife, Eleanor, 3 of his children, well, tragic. Surviving are 3 children, in addition to the 3 he lost. 9 grandchildren and 7 great-grandchildren. A great legacy, Richard Schneider. James J. Spare, Hazel Township. He was 82 when we lost him November 2nd. Born in Hazleton, he spent the past 20 years in Hazel Township. Graduate MMI prep, class of 60. He was a U.S. Army veteran during the Vietnam conflict, having served from 64 to 66 in country. His decorations included the Vietnam Service Medal and an expert rifle badge with bar. Jay was employed as a telecommunications technician for over 37 years with Verizon. He was a member of the Trinity Evangelical Lutheran Church, Hazleton. Member of the Memory Valley Rod and Gun Club, the Heights Rod and Gun Club, the American Legion Post, the VFW, the Disabled American Veterans, the AMVETS, the U.S. Army 39th Engineer Battalion Alumni Association, and the Hazel Azalea Fellowship Masonic Lodge. He was an avid outdoorsman and woodworker. Surviving are his devoted wife, the former Joanne Jean Picala, to whom he was married in 1969. Also, 4 sons and a slew of grandchildren. Jay Spare. Thomas Evans, Bloomsburg. He died at age 79, October 24th. Lifelong resident of Bloomsburg, born in Danville. He graduated from Bloomsburg High School in 1964. He attended West Virginia University, graduating in 1968. He then enlisted in the United States Army, serving during the Vietnam War. 1976, he married his loving wife, the former Jane Krause, who preceded him in death in 2021. For many years, he was employed by Bloomsburg Bank Columbia Trust as a loan officer until his retirement in 2024. He was a member of the St. Paul Episcopal Church, Bloomsburg, the Town Council of Bloomsburg, chair of the Bloomsburg Municipality Authority, the Rosemont Cemetery Board, and other organizations, including the Elks and the American Legion. Avid golfer. He loved growing vegetables in his garden. He owned a horse and enjoyed horse racing, coaching Little League as well. His sister and many other families survive him. Thomas Evans. Our great veterans this hour brought to you by our man, John Basiliga and Basiliga Hospitality. Storm Tracker 16 forecast from meteorologist Joe Snedeker. Today, clouds, breaks of sun, 47. Tonight, partly cloudy, low 34. Saturday, cloudy with rain developing late in the day, 50. Sunday, windy and cooler with rain showers and flurries likely, high 45. So, fascinating stuff going on. By the way, I want to shout out and thank you to Brother Mike for reminding me. Shout out my mother's birthday on Sunday. I'm not saying how old she is. I'm not going to say how old. I'm 64, though. Yes, that'll tell you. Well, I'm not actually sure. Because I used to know or think that my parents were 2 years apart. And they've been married for, 67, 68 years. And so I knew when my father, who was 87, or did he turn 88? Now, see, again, I'm getting old enough to forget. She would always be 2 years behind. But then it turns out that my father went for his driver's license at age 14. So he was actually older than we thought he was, and we made these adjustments, and now my mother's like 3 or 4 years younger than him. So we'll see. We'll find out. We'll find out on Sunday. And then we're going to go to Sibio's Monday. So we'll find out then. I'll get it nailed down. But yeah, the government's reopened, and I'm hoping things get restored. I was laughing about something that has come across the wires. The staffers at the Democrat National Committee. Now, here's what they call being hoisted on your own petard. They think it is callous. Okay, they've got a workers' union at the Democrat National Committee. They think it is callous to have to go back to work 5 days a week in the office. Do you see this? Do you see this? This is how insane this Democrat Party has become. That says it all. It truly does. The Democrat staffers of the DNC are fighting having to go back to work. My word. It tells us all we need to know. All right, we'll be back. The Partridge Family. Now, the Bulldog, well, Murph picked it, but the Bulldog picked it because we had extra songs. 1970, this date. Moved from number 7 to number 4 with that hit. Cute. And we're going to finish with I Got You, Babe. This date, 1987, Sonny and Cher reunited on a late show with David Letterman and performed their hit. So we're going to play I Got You, Babe to wrap things up here today. Well, prior to wrapping up, and I'm only giving her a couple of minutes because she's finding a way around things. And that is Lorraine from Hazleton. She's got a funny story. Now, the Bulldog says it's funny. He had heard it earlier, and he sort of pre-screened it. So, Lorraine, first of all, how are you, my dear?
Hanging in.
All right. Well, you're on thin ice with this funny story thing. I think you're maneuvering your way around the prohibition on you telling jokes on the program.
Well,
and so now you're saying, well, this is not a joke; it's a funny story. So you're on thin ice. I'm warning you in advance.
Well, I didn't care. I told Johnny I'm taking a chance. I don't care. I don't give a.
All right.
Well, look.
Don't use that kind of language with me. But go
Oh,
ahead.
I didn't say a word.
Go ahead, Lorraine.
Well, I heard this, about this woman. They got married 4 times. Well, the first husband was a millionaire. And no, his name wasn't Cordaro. The second guy was a clown. But that's not you. The third guy was a preacher. And the fourth guy was an undertaker. So it was 1 for the money, 2 for the show, 3 to get ready, and 4 to go.
That is awful. Do you realize that the Bulldog is prohibited from telling jokes?
But that's okay. Listen,
And this is the reason why he said, I thought it was pretty funny.
Well, yes, he did, because I told it to him before, and I said, I don't know if I should get on. I said, well,
dear Lord.
Yeah, but you know what?
You have
told him,
so many beautiful poems, and this is what you stick me with?
Why not?
And this audience. This is a huge audience, and I'm sure they were anticipating a beautiful poem, and
well,
look what they get.
I forewarned you ahead of time. And listen, I told the Bulldog, Johnny, that I was going to the dentist. He said, what time? And I told him, he said, well, he's going at 2:30. And I laughed. I said, see, Johnny, we laugh at each other's jokes.
And once again, the reason that you are prohibited from telling jokes, and now I've got to expand that you're not allowed to tell funny stories either. That's just a joke. I mean, that's all that was, is a horrible joke.
According to whom?
According to me.
According to...
I happen to be the arbiter for this program, and you and the Bulldog are now prohibited from funny jokes or funny stories.
Do you think we're afraid of you?
Well, I'll control the microphone. That's the point.
Yeah, that's not all you control.
Right.
But you don't control me.
Lorraine, we're very happy to hear from you before the weekend.
Yeah, you should be glad that I'm here to tell jokes.
Yeah.
You should be glad that I'm around to tell them.
Well, of course I am.
Well,
but no,
okay.
you've got beautiful poems.
Well, I read. Well, there's 1 or 2 odd ones like you around, but I'll read them again.
All right. Well, Lorraine, thank you very much. We appreciate it, dear.
You better, Fuzzy Wuzzy.
All right, darling. Have a good weekend.
Oh, I wish I would. Thanks.
All right. Bye-bye. Well, again, I hope most of you see why I don't allow her to tell jokes on the program. They just go from bad to worse, and the Bulldog is an enabler because he's prohibited during my entire time when I'm down here at WILK. He's prohibited from telling jokes or puns or whatever, and you can see why also. All right, we want to here comes I Got You, Babe. We want to final mention of our great veterans we've lost. Brought to you by John Basiliga, Basiliga Hospitality. James J. Spare, Hazel Township. Richard Schneider, Freeland. Nazareno Galassi, Scranton. Francis Frank Zimmerovich, Carbondale. Matthew Jones, Wilkes-Barre. William Jansen, Scranton. And Thomas Evans, Bloomsburg. Thank you all for your service and your lives. Policeman's prayer. Think about our cops. They'll be the thin blue line separating us from savagery over the weekend. Lord, bless the ones who wear the badge, the ones who walk the beat, protect and keep them safe while they are on the street. As they wait and as they watch, doing good for all, guide their minds and give them strength for each and every call. Ready to put their lives on the line, give them courage each day. Let them know you're always there in each and every way. So bless the ones who wear the badge, protect them from harm, always keep them safe and in your loving arms. Tomorrow Never Comes by Norma Cornett Merrick. Reach out to someone, a friend, family member, someone you love, someone you like. Take the time this weekend. We found this in the great obituary for the beloved Doreen Gorieb several years ago. If I knew it would be the last time I'd see you walk out the door, I would give you a hug and kiss and call you back for just one more. If I knew it would be the last time, I would spare an extra minute or two to stop and say I love you instead of assuming you know I do. So just in case tomorrow never comes and today is all I get, I'd like to say how much I love you and I hope we will never forget. Tomorrow's not promised to anyone, young or old alike, and today may be the last chance you get to hold your loved one tight. So if you're waiting for tomorrow, why not do it today? For if tomorrow never comes, you'll surely regret the day that you didn't take that extra time for a smile, a hug, or a kiss, and you were too busy to grant someone what turned out to be their final wish. So hold your loved ones close today and whisper in their ear that you love them very much and you'll always hold them dear. Take time to say, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, or it's okay. And if tomorrow never comes, you'll have no regrets about today. I think of my man Jack Kuchak on that one. Guys, have a great weekend. Sue Henry show next. Rob O'Donnell show after that. For now, though, I've got to say adios here, gaveling to a close. This meeting of the Club for Common Sense, wrapping it for the week with that gavel and telling you, God willing, I'll be with you Monday. Have a safe and maybe even a fun weekend. Bacardo Jeweler time, 12 noon.